We spent 350 bucks just to find out. We put a 351 Windsor based motor in our Foxbody Mustang. Got a little bit of a clearance issue. To the channel. As you guys know, we put a 351 Windsor based stroker motor back in our black Foxbody Mustang here behind me, and we had a little bit of a hood clearance issue. We did some K-member spacing and clearancing. This whole engine build was probably one of the most budget Ford stroker builds that you're going to see built, at least on my channel. We were going to stick it here in the black car because we're going to boost it, see how much power it makes. Considering the parts that are in it, we don't have a whole lot of money in it. We did end up having to spend some money because here on the channel, subscribers want to see how much this motor makes naturally aspirated. And to be honest with you, I do too. The 9.5 deck motor, 351 Windsor, regardless if it's a 408 or a 387 or whatever it is, they do have minimal spacing for not only a downpipe, but for actual exhaust headers. And considering to make it really efficient, to make a good dyno number, I should have went with some long tube headers. Some of them, depending on how big they are, you have to lift the motor up. But we didn't want to do that because the shorty headers that we're putting here for the naturally aspirated dyno pull and engine break-in are just temporary to begin with. They're like 350 bucks. And I had already thought I had a couple sets of them, but obviously I was wrong. So we're gonna get busy today on the install, and we're gonna actually see how well these BBK 1511 shorty headers actually fit. Now this isn't just an unboxing. We're gonna actually put these on. BBK 1511 inch and 5/8, about pretty much the cheapest ones that I could find. I have already kind of opened it up. This is the passenger header. The ports aren't very big to begin with. Hopefully it doesn't choke up the motor too much, but that's just what we got to deal with right now, guys. It is what it is. Comes with some studs and some hardware to install it, as we're gonna actually mock up a H-pipe, Y-pipe setup. By the end of the video, we should have the headers installed. You guys will get a chance to see how well they fit on the 9.5 deck motor. And then I'm gonna show you some of the exhaust ideas that I'm gonna have set up for my turbo kit. So I am gonna try to tie these shorty headers into the existing Y-pipe so I can have a little bit of an exhaust. It's getting my shit off the jack stands, it's getting the shit off the engine stands, and getting the car running again. We can always go back over it and change it later, right? That's what we do here. We're gonna put a block back there, bring the motor forward as much as I can so I can get as much room in the back, get these headers on, and you guys can see what's really going on in here. Good old wood block. I haven't locked down the motor mounts just yet. You guys get a chance right now to see how well this stuff fits. This is all my wiring that's getting hooked up later. Oh, look at that, boost controller. We'll be using you soon. We just set this motor in last video. So give you guys an idea what the 302 one looks like. I guess we could have actually used the 302 one. Let's see how close it was. About a ½ inch. You would have had to probably build your own like H-pipe exhaust. And here on the driver's side, there really wouldn't have been anyway because of the knuckle. See that? There'd been no way. That's the difference right there. But looking at the differences here, this is the other driver header of the BBK set. You can definitely tell like how they don't turn it as much. And it's also tucked and pinched. And we'll take a look real quick before I install it, just to kind of give it a mock setup. Yeah, it fits a lot better than the other one. Look at that. Like it was meant to be. It didn't even need to be bent right there. You see it? It's actually got a lot more room than I had thought. This is just inch and 5/8. So since we actually test fitted the 302 header versus the 351 one on the driver's side, which is the one that's kind of the PETA to do, we're going to test fit the other one here on the passenger side. The 302 one on this side looked like it was going to clear, but not really. I don't think the flange was aimed correctly. So looking at it like we had just did with the driver's side header, kind of a side-by-side thing here. Now you can see the 302 header is not much wider, and neither is the flange, but it definitely fits a little bit different. I don't like the fact that the BBK ones, the welds that are like kind of in the ports versus, I think these are Mac. They did a really nice job. Okay, we're gonna set this 302 one in one more time, this time with a light. We got all the holes lined up right here. Looks pretty good. It's close though, for sure. I mean, obviously if the engine was to shift at all, it would be hitting the frame rail. Let's go ahead and put this one on. See what it looks like. Definitely much better. Look at that. Like, it looks deceiving being out of the box, doesn't it? Like, it really looks, must be just the bends. You can tell that the bends here, it might be as wide, but you can tell that the bends move the flange over an inch or so. BBK definitely did a good job with the measurements. So this is the passenger and this is the passenger. How the tubes kind of turn in a lot sooner than they normally would with a normal header. It looks deceiving, but there's definitely an inch or so movement over just by the way these were bent. Would long tube headers definitely be better and more efficient than what we got going on here? Absolutely. But like I said, this is temporary. I wanted to show you guys the product that I bought. I spent 350 bucks on it. And, you know, I'll be damned if I'm not gonna check the fitment and make a video on it. I'm actually pretty impressed with what BBK did with their alignment. Now we gotta actually get them on the motor. That shouldn't take too long. We'll go under the car. I'll show you the exhaust ideas that I got. See if all our hardware from our other stuff fits in and our copper gaskets from Mr. Gasket. Like, doing this video was more of an info video for the channel. People that wanna swap over to 351, this is kind of a budget-ish option. You know, I got a set of Basanis that used obviously, but they're 302, 351, and putting a long tube header on a Foxbody, especially a 351 swab, definitely takes specific headers. And again, the 5-speed and automatic obviously has a different tube. I was actually pretty impressed with the fitment of this. Is all the bolts went in nice and straight. All the flange, you know, the flange wasn't warped at all. I had to create a stud situation back here because I think I stripped this out last time we were messing with the other headers. But nonetheless, another thing that I was happy about is I was able to actually get my wrench into pretty much all the primaries. They're not really big to begin with. They're 1.5", but didn't have any issues tightening it down. Now it's time to install the driver's side one, which we all know we got a knuckle involved and a bunch of other shit on that side of the fender. So got the driver's side header on. Most, if not all, of the header bolts were pretty easily accessible. I was able to get my wrench in most of them, even my socket. We're gonna rock these out temporarily until we put the turbo kit on, which we have the old turbo kit from the 408 that when it was in the white car. So we're just gonna end up using, you know, the headers and the turbo and the extra stuff that we got laying here on the in the shop on the shelf. I'm gonna bring it up, show you guys what the exhaust looks like underneath, and give you some ideas what we're gonna do when we finish the video. Okay, so it looks like the headers sit pretty much right where they need to be to get around the bell housing for the H-pipe. Obviously, I'm going to be moving my fuel pressure regulator, maybe Y-pipe it. I do have a Y-pipe made up here with the Borla exhaust that goes to the back for my turbo setup. Mock up some sort of like Y-pipe that comes off here to come into the exhaust and make it, this is all hard mounted as you see with rubber mounts. Pretty good. It actually sits right where it needs to be honest, for a H-pipe. So pretty happy with my $350 purchase. It's gonna work out pretty well. We're gonna figure some. So what's next for our 387 stroker turbo Foxbody build? We're gonna be installing our McLeod RXT HD twin, installing the Tremec TKX. Got an upgrade coming. You guys see how well that stuff fits. But until then, we're gonna continue wrenching down, getting the motor set up. Got a lot of little knick-knack stuff to put on it, get it ready to fire very soon. So if you guys enjoy this sort of content, leave me a thumbs up, leave me a comment below, let me know what you guys think. If you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing to the channel. Outside of that, check out the join button if you wanna be a member to the channel, as they get exclusive content to the channel. I just appreciate you guys watching. We will see you soon in the next video.